By the time this video releases, Deltarune will actually be tomorrow. Can you tell I've been in the trenches for way too long on this? Jesus Christ, it's so surreal to think that just a year ago, right? Just a little under a year ago, or I guess a little over a year ago now, since we're in late June as opposed to early June like we were last year when we got chapters 3 and 4. We got 3 and 4 on the release day of the Switch 2. Frame 1, we had everything. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. You know what I'm saying? I literally I re-got Deltarune on my Switch and just played through all of it up until chapter 4. Because it had been so long since I had actually sat down with Deltarune that I needed to refresh myself. And I went through it, everything was off, I was just having the time of my life, I was enjoying every frame of I have some footage, actually, of my first time through chapter 3, because I was going to upload it as a Let's Play, and decided against it, I guess. I don't know. If anybody wants to see that, they can. But regardless, you know, we are a full year out, and now we're looking at chapter 5 again at the time of this recording a couple days from now, but for y'all tomorrow, and you know, I guess for me tomorrow as well. And I'm super excited about that. I'm obviously going to be streaming the game right here the entire day, so if anybody wants to hang out for that, feel more than welcome to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited about that, and I just kind of wanted to just yammer a little bit about some Deltarune because, funny enough, one of my most popular videos on this channel was me kind of just rambling about things that I would have liked to see in Deltarune Chapter 5. So what's going to happen is I'm going to complete Chapter 5 of Deltarune, and then I'm going to go back to that video, write down everything that I asked for or really just wanted to see, and then we're going to pretty much respond by, you know, seeing if any of my hopes were answered or if any of my guesses were correct and stuff like that. And we're gonna go back through everything because I yammered on a lot. But you know, it's crazy to think that, you know, that video just kind of popped off. I made like one Deltarune video before that at that point, and it didn't do any numbers. I had that extra one ready to go. I let it do its thing. Didn't look at the channel for a couple of days. Came back and I was like, oh my god! Like, that was the craziest shot up I had ever seen for this channel like that, right? So, you know, it's very clear that I've been here. I've been with Deltarune since frame 1. You know what I'm saying? I played Undertale multitude of times, watched a million different playthroughs to see other people's reactions to everything that went down in, you know, Undertale, their Undertale playthroughs. And, you know, I did the exact same thing with Deltarune. Frame 1, it released. I remember the first chapter or the demo or whatever had dropped, and I was at my buddy's house. We were waiting to have a meeting, and I was just like, dude, like, can I borrow your computer real quick? And he's like, dude, go for it. And I recorded my experience and everything. It's out there somewhere. I think it might be lost media, but I had the time of my life playing through Deltarune chapter 1, and every chapter after that has just gotten better and better and better. And chapter 4 was just, I don't know what kind of crack Toby, Tammy, and the team put in chapter 4, but it hit something different, brother. That shit was insanity. All of the little potential lore bits, all of the character development, all of just the intensity between all the characters and just the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? It was just there was so much going on. There was so much happening that it was bad, right? In that video that popped off, I was talking about how I think that was the worst. After I'd beaten chapter 4, my feed was nothing but Deltarune for a straight month. Not even exaggerating, nothing else was on my feed except for Deltarune. So you can imagine that not only did I have the worst Deltarune Undertale brain rot for a straight month plus, from that June to July, but I also had an absolutely destroyed Spotify algorithm and Spotify Wrapped that year. I had nothing but Deltarune music playing for at least 3 months after that. It was literally just Deltarune music, bro. Dude, oh my god. I think that from now on, in of itself, not only just is one of the best tunes I have ever heard from Toby Fox in general, obviously because of the context and the build up to that battle theme, but it is easily within the top echelons of my favorite battle themes of all time. Like, that is ridiculous. It feels almost ridiculous to say that, but I really do believe that From Now On is such a special battle theme to me now, and I still listen to it on occasion to this day, like a year later, and it's still like, it's rarely skipped. It's rarely ever skipped. I never felt like I wore that out. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know, we had such fire bangers, bro. Rooter Buster from Chapter 3. Guardian went stupid. Dummy stupid. Castle Funk was amazing. TV Time. You know what I'm saying? Gingerbread House had me sick. Second Sanctuary. Third Sanctuary. When I tell you my Spotify was destroyed, especially because I have like a longer commute to work, it was just those on repeat. And I fear I'm in for something dangerous when Chapter 5 comes out. But I mean, maybe not. We'll see what happens, because maybe it's one of those situations where it you know what? No, I'm not even gonna say that out loud. This is Toby Fox that we're talking about. This man could make the most fire song with 2 plastic spoons and a bottle of lotion if he really wanted to, because he is just that crazy of an artist, thinking of the craziest bangers we never would have genuinely considered. It's ridiculous. It is genuinely ridiculous. Like, I don't know, but I mean, Chapter 4 has heavenly music, so it's just like, it's ironic. It's kind of ironic that I say heavenly now that I think about it, considering the fact that it takes place in a church. But regardless of that fact, you know, it's pretty fitting, generally speaking. And so, you know, now we're looking to entering the dark world in in Chris's father's, in Asgore's flower shop, right? And based on what we'd seen so far from the trailer, from the little snippet that we got from the gameplay, it looks like it's gonna be very like, you know, like Japan theme, like Edo period, like samurai base, you know what I'm saying? And oh my god, bro. Oh my, I genuinely cannot imagine what they're gonna be cooking up theme-wise there. I'm genuinely terrified. I really don't know. And God forbid if we get Rudest Buster, if we're honest, we're probably not gonna get Rudest Buster until the final chapter, because the Rudest has to be like the rudest, the nastiest beat we have ever heard in our lives, right? And you know, we're probably gonna get even a ruder Buster as our next battle theme. We'll see what happens, but regardless, I'm looking forward to all of it. And you know, there's just so many questions that I still have in regards to, like, you know, what are we looking to happen with, you know, Noelle and her mom and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is gonna end up happening with this festival? Because, you know, by the time we end up in this next chapter, it's gonna be the next day. We're looking at a brand new day, and we are going to, you know, go through the festival and things like that. And something's probably going to end up happening where we're going to need to check on Asgore, because something either didn't get delivered or something went wrong, and he's probably stuck in the Dark World if he's not a Dark World boss himself, considering the fact that, you know, obviously, spoiler alert, I mean, I know a lot of people are probably playing through Deltarune for the first time now to catch up before Chapter 5, but, you know, I guess a little minor spoiler alert, we did see that Asgore does have a Shadow Crystal, so either he's the boss or somebody took it from him. We'll have to play that by ear. Hopefully on that first playthrough I can manage to get to the secret boss, but if I do, I don't know. I'm not going to try and even bank on that, because if I do get to that, who knows how long it's gonna take. Well, I don't know. I got to the secret boss in Chapter 4, and it took me 1 try. Not even kidding. It took me 1 try on Hammer of Justice. That was ridiculous. Like, I'd seen it, and I'm like, oh god, he looks crazy. I beat him in 1 go, and then put the game down. I was like, alright, cool. I got the Shadow Crystal. I'm ready for the next chapter. I need to finish that, actually. I still need to finish out the chapter and beat the boss again. But regardless, I'm super curious to see what's gonna happen with Birdly when, you know, he sees what's going on with, you know, Susie and Noelle going together, if that's even possible. Obviously, Noelle is gonna have to sneak out of the house, and if she, oh my god, if she gets caught, dog, Ooh, Carol's gonna have a field day with her ass, bro. With a whooping. Not, wow, that sounded terrible. Regardless, it's not looking, it's looking terrifying right now, you know? And I don't know, the aesthetics that we've seen so far, it doesn't necessarily give me like the darkest, grittiest aesthetic, you know? But you know, this is Toby Fox we're talking about. He could turn the happiest moment into the most upsetting thing we've ever seen in a flash, in a heartbeat. That's the crazy thing about Undertale and Deltarune, is that it can go from funny and silly and humorous to the saddest or darkest or most like terrifying thing you've seen in a matter of milliseconds. I have never seen somebody handle juxtaposition that well. It's terrifying how good the team is with that over there. You know what I'm saying? So they're cooking up. They're cooking up, and I'm fully ready to experience whatever Chapter 5 has to offer in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I know a lot of people are very curious about what's going to happen with Sans and stuff like that, but I really do feel like we're probably not going to see more major Sans-related stuff or, you know, Papyrus-related anything until maybe Chapter 6. But it's all up in the air, dog. It's all up in the air, because the end, it's so ridiculous, right? The end of that last chapter was so damned heavy. It felt so damned heavy, given everything that they had just went through, having to fight a guardian, bro, and just coming back, Chris and Susie coming back home to their mom, dancing with Sans, bro. And it's just like the implications of what's going on is just mind-boggling. It's just, it had everybody so messed up. And Chris was messed up. They had pillow to ears, not wanting to be bothered with what was going on downstairs. They were just trying to sleep. Susie didn't even go home immediately after. Who knows where Susie actually walked off to? Probably finding somewhere to sleep or whatever until, you know, the festival, trying to find a way to get dolled up so they could, or so Susie could take Noelle to the festival, or maybe break into her house and bust her out. Who knows? Because it seems like whatever's going on with them is definitely getting a little bit more serious, hopefully. And you know, I'm all for is that what's the ship name? Suzelle? Whatever. I'm down for those two. Those two are disgustingly adorable. So I'm ready. I'm genuinely ready for whatever they got going on with that. So I don't know. I guess overall, if I had to really sum it up, you know, as far as the gameplay goes, I know that the gameplay is going to cook. We're going to get some crazy gimmick from a bunch of these enemies within that next one. It's going to be ridiculous. That music, oh my god, I can't wait for that Chapter 5 music. I really, really, really am excited for that Chapter 5 music. And the way they've been, like, progressing, right? Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. Before that, I'm really excited for the music. Obviously, the story is just... oh my god, I'm gonna throw up at that cliffhanger. I know we're gonna want to sock somebody's jaw in when we get to that cliffhanger after the chapter's over, dude. I can't breathe, man. I can't breathe. Obviously, you know, just looking forward to seeing my babies again, you know what I'm saying, with Chris, with Susie, with Ralsei, you know what I'm saying, with Noelle. Hopefully Noelle is with us in this dark world or something. Even Birdley at this point, man. I know Birdley's ridiculous as a character, but you can't help but love the little idiot, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something about him, you know? So, that's where my head's at with that. And what really tells me that they cooked is the fact that they have been just grinding out these chapters non-stop with like it seems like almost zero real interference or blockage or any kind, even in the like general development space. I mean, we don't know what kind of like maybe potential writer's block or anything like that any of them may have come across when developing the last couple of chapters or anything like that, but the way Toby was talking about it in the newsletter and stuff like that, about how well progression has been going, we are probably looking to receive Chapter 6 probably sometime next year. Like, we're probably not that far off from seeing the next couple chapters to end it all, you know? So, because I think, what did he say in that newsletter? Did he say Chapter 6 was in a playable state, or that it's just progressing like super smoothly? Can't remember, but regardless, they're progressing very, very well. And, you know, the fact that we got another Deltarune like only a year later is impressive, because you got to remember the gap between chapters 1 and 2 was already crazy. The gap between chapters 2 and 3 and 4 was baffling considering what was that 20. We got chapter 2 and 22, and then we didn't get chapter 3 and 4 until 25. And so now, you know, the distance is that gap is much smaller with 26. You know, it's crazy. And I know that they've been cooking because they've been just doing it. They just been in the lab just whipping it up, bro. I'm talking Mr. White, Jesse type lock-in, right? So it's like, we're looking very, very good. We're looking very, very good. I'm very confident that they've had a plan of like what things were gonna look like, sound like, play like, feel like, in regards to all the music and, you know, all the character developments and progression and the plot and everything. Like I really do feel like they've had that on lock for a long time. So I'm not too worried about it. So, and again, their progression really sells that idea for me. So that's where my head's at right now. But I'm not gonna keep you too long because I know you are just ready to just pounce on the next chapter. We're gonna get tomorrow morning, I believe it is. So I'm probably gonna be live bright and early for anybody that might want to hang out with me to play through the chapter and just hang out or whatever. So if anybody's interested, make sure to come through. Soul side quests, set alarms or something, or maybe not, I don't know, just come through when you want to come through. But I am going to be playing on stream for the like entire day probably, because that's my primary plan that day, is just to beat the chapter. That's it. So we'll play that one by ear. But that being said, I have now said my piece. I'm super excited for Deltarune, so I'm passing the mic over to you to find out if you are feeling the same as me or not. Are you excited for Deltarune Chapter 5? Are you looking forward to the crazy aesthetics that they've introduced? Are you looking forward to the music and the next bit of story that we're gonna get? Are you antsy and ready to get your hands on it like I am? Or are you on the opposing side? You don't really care about it like that. It kind of got drowned out throughout all the other announcements, which would be kind of fair because we did get a lot of crazy announcements during that Nintendo Direct, and you're not really feeling the excitement like that. Maybe not just yet, or maybe not at all. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, yes sir, it does appear to be the battle of the clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Doing the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
Doing donuts in a bin. I stay funky. Battle goes wherever I am. I stay funky. I don't know who's ready to spit. Just know you're going down with my 58 clips. I stay funky. Honey's taking back to the crib. I stay funky. Get the club popped off like pain. I stay funky. I don't know.